Put on your clothes, people. Put on your clothes. We're live.
Yeah. I just can't believe that Len would fire the coach. It's just terrible.
Yeah, Len, why'd you fire the coach of the Cavs?
You know what? I just was not happy with him.
You just wanted all the Russian hats to yourself.
Well, I thought it was really cruel to have him stay for Russian hat night and then fire him. So we just got rid of him before Russian hat.
Yeah, before. You didn't want to build up his hopes.
Right. It was just, I mean, you have a big Russian hat night on a Saturday night in Cleveland, and then you got to let someone go. It's just not vibe.
You can't afford both of those things.
Yeah, you gotta make your decision. So we decided
pick
just
your
to let him go.
battles.
Yeah.
Beatmaster is in the blizzard. It seems.
I'm so glad we've missed a lot of these terrible winter storms.
It's Winter Storm Watch on Daily Tech News Show. I don't see anything out here in California. How about there in Ohio, Len?
Right now it's cold but clear, and it's actually a very nice day. How about you, Darren? What's going on over there?
Everything was fine until a moment ago. It's like a packet storm in here, and the Wi-Fi is just someone's microwaving a burrito. Never mind.
Yeah. So you're also in California. So yeah, no snow here. Sorry. But, we've got intelligence amplification. So by the end of this episode, you will be smarter.
Yeah, we could use
your intelligence.
We could use that to actually avoid snowstorms.
Yeah. We can outsmart the snowstorms.
Yeah,
you're right. We could use the intelligence of move to California.
Yeah. We'll all just become a nomadic group of people that avoid snowstorms.
Hawaii.
I think they call those Canadians. I love you guys, by the way.
Love you, loonies.
Yes.
All right.
It was great to see Jen on too.
Oh yeah, that was Roger's doing. That was all credit to Roger getting her in here, and it was great having her on. Shall we begin the show then?
Let's make a podcast.
Let's have a good one.
Bye.
Tech News, a daily frontier to explain advancing technologies and how they affect you, to seek out new gadgets, apps, and picks of the day. These are the continuing missions of the Daily Tech News Show. But Tom and the crew can't do it alone. To help keep DTNS on the cutting edge of news and lovable, goofy, curmudgeonly commentary, visit dailytechnewsshow.com/support to show your support. Now let's hear that other theme song.
This is the Daily Tech News for Friday, January 22nd, 2016. I'm Tom Merritt. Joining me today, Mr. Darren Kitchen, hack5.org, hak5.org. How are you, sir?
Mr. Tom Merritt, it's so great to be here. I'm so excited. We are doing so many fun things around here, and I missed you, man.
Yeah, I missed you too. How was your
Fake DEF CON?
Doing other things?
Fake DEF CON was so much fun. I can't wait to tell you guys about it in 9 months.
Faux DEF CON, is that what you're calling it?
Hashtag fake DEF CON. I've logged on about it.
Well, Len Peralta is here as well. Len, we made sure to pick a real abstract concept for the show today.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you. It was these are tough. I like that you throw these challenges at me. It shows that you have some sort of you believe in me that I can do these things.
Oh yeah, actually I do. All kidding aside, like I never doubt that you are going to come up with something.
I'm glad one of us does. So, right.
All right. Well, you might get a chance to see Len and I in Seattle at Convey UX. We'll tell you about that a little bit later in the show. But let's start off with some headlines. Bloomberg reports a transcript of court proceedings from Oracle's Java copyright lawsuit against Google stated that Apple received $1 billion from Google to be the default search engine on iOS, or at least that's how much they received in revenue sharing. Oracle also claimed Google generated $31 billion in revenue and $22 billion in profit from Android. Now here's where it gets interesting. The magistrate, not the judge overseeing the case, but the magistrate presiding over the testimony, initially declined to block the transcript from public view, even though it had this confidential information, and that's how Bloomberg got a look at it. So Google and Apple asked the judge over the entire case, U.S. District Judge William Alsup, to seal and redact the transcript, and the transcript disappeared from electronic court records at 3 p.m. yesterday without any explanation. So presumably he said yes. Thanks to habichuelacondulce for posting this on the subreddit. I don't know. I mean, the $1 billion in revenue just means like, oh, well, yeah, people make a lot of searches. And the $31 billion in revenue from Android seems like a lowball estimate, to be honest. But otherwise it's just curiosity stuff.
Yeah, but that 34%, we don't know which side that's on. If it's Apple getting 34%,
right.
Google getting 34%. But like the whole idea that, okay, so hey, we told you something, but we now want everybody to forget it. That's not, next time Google goes to negotiate with a mobile provider to use their search engine by default, I'm sure they will legally forget the 34% thing.
Well, and that's the thing, right? And 34% that Darren's referring to is there was another mention of a 34% rev share number in there as well, and that's what the $1 billion comes from. But maybe what they can say is like, well, that's not real. That was a misinterpretation by Bloomberg. Show me the transcript. And that could be the negotiating tactic? I don't know. The Financial Times reports Apple has hired Doug Bowman, not David Bowman. He was from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Doug Bowman, who has been the director of the Center for Human-Computer Interaction at Virginia Tech. At least we think he was. Apparently he's not anymore. Bowman focuses on three-dimensional user interface design and the benefits of immersion in virtual environments. His hiring follows recent acquisitions by Apple of augmented and virtual reality outfits FaceShift, Mateo, and Emotion. I think it's not surprising, Darren, that Apple would be working on a virtual reality product. I guess my question is, do we see the pattern of people are making MP3 players and then Apple comes in and makes a really popular one, repeated as phone, repeated as tablet? Could they do that with VR?
That's Tom, you read my notes exactly. I was about to ask you the exact same thing, because you've seen them go from MP3 players to the iPod and smartphones to the iPhone and tablets to the iPad. I was actually hoping, just deep down inside, I'm like rooting for the underdog, basically anyone not Apple, that this will be the first major consumer electronics like superstar to go mainstream with adoption despite Apple. But it seems that, they got to get on that bandwagon, so maybe we'll see the enthusiasts pave the way, and then Apple come out with the one that's white.
A lot of folks have been wondering when the next test of Apple post Steve Jobs would be, and I think this is it. I don't think the Apple Watch was already in development while Steve Jobs was alive, and it also isn't. I don't know that the wearables market is the same as the phone market.
No, I feel like the wearables market is like the e-tablet or the e-ink, reader market.
Especially the watch market. Like, not everybody wants a watch, and not everybody wants a VR helmet, but there's a lot more excitement. The VR helmet market just feels like the MP3 player market did at one point.
Well, maybe we're hoping it is. I mean, no, but at the same time, we've seen this every year with CES. Like, I don't feel like anybody was really hoping 3D TV was going to be that next major thing either. So, but I do feel like, especially from our prediction show, everybody wants this to be the next big thing. So actually, maybe maybe we're damned either way. We need Apple to make it the thing
to drive it forward. The iView.
There's going to be an I somewhere in there.
The iVar.
The 4 eyes.
Microsoft has begun shipping Surface Book and Surface Pro 4s with 1 terabyte of storage. Boom! You could pre-order them before, but they're actually shipping now. They also come with a Core i7 processor and 16 gigabytes of RAM in the U.S. and Canada. Surface Book runs $3,199. Surface Pro 4, $2,699 at those specs. Microsoft also released a $60 gold version of the Surface Pen that ships with the Surface Pen tip kit, available in the U.S., Canada, Denmark, Finland, Italy, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Spain, and Sweden. That's just supercharged Surface, but to be honest, I've been waiting for the Surface Book with a terabyte drive to take it seriously.
I have been waiting for that as well as other things, and this is still not enough to make me take it seriously because it seems like Intel did such an amazing job with their marketing with the Core series be it i3, i5, i7, that we forget that like 2 different i7s can be vastly different. An i7 in an Ultrabook versus one in, I don't know, a gaming piece, a laptop or a desktop is like, you know, apples and oranges. So I went looking to see, oh, cool, they upgraded it. Maybe now it's a quad core and I can actually do editing on this thing.
No.
And no, in fact, the only thing that I could find today when I went looking for it is Paul Thurrott's amazing blog where he basically came out about what he's calling SurfaceGate, the quality control issues, namely the fact that it won't go into deep sleep, and Microsoft's kind of like mum on the matter. So maybe they fixed it in this version, but they're completely mum on it. So good on Intel for marketing that makes everybody forget the fact that there's dual-core and quad-core versions of the chip, and updating my prediction that we'll see more gold crap that you don't need this year.
That's true, man. Gold Surface Pen. Okay. The tip kit actually seems interesting. And I'll be honest, for this size of a book, I'm not going to use it for video editing, so I'm less concerned with the processor than I am with the terabyte.
Well,
storage,
Adobe updated Premiere to have gesture controls and touch and stuff. So for me, like, I actually do, like, as a laptop, hey, you know, I need to be able to edit remotely, and the fact that I could, like, in the hotel room, kind of like leisurely in bed, scrub through footage and edit, that's I don't know.
Especially at $3,000. Yeah.
And not at $3,000, but I do have techno lust for it regardless.
Australian stock exchange operator ASX announced it has purchased a 5% stake in blockchain developer Digital Asset Holdings. ASX Managing Director and CEO Elmer Funk-Kupper believes blockchain tech from the company will help them reduce cost, time, and complexity for post-trade equity market trades. In other words, they're going to use blockchain stuff in the ASX. The United States NASDAQ is also testing blockchain tech on its private market, where private trades happen. They might make it public eventually. Deutsche Börse and London Stock Exchange also building applications that use blockchain or similar distributed ledger technologies. So this is the wave. We are going to see blockchain-like technology in all of the stock markets, is my prediction within the next couple of years, probably.
What? Banks using blockchains? Tom, that's that technology that gained notoriety for its involvement in illegal drugs and prostitutions and assassinations on Silk Road. Next thing you know, you're going to tell me that Steam is going to use BitTorrent technology, the stuff that gained notoriety for circumventing copyright of just about anything that can be digitized.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's
like telling you that VHS won because of porn.
No, it's like telling me that no matter how wonderful the technology is, that it's completely agnostic. And as I know, nothing in the world can be agnostic. It's either black or white, Tom. The technology of the blockchain is only used for Bitcoin, and as we know, that's only for drug smuggling. So my prediction, banks are moving into drugs. Or technology.
I mean, that's a whole. Now we're into no agenda territory. But bringing it back to people who are like, wait a minute, what's the blockchain again? The idea with blockchain is that for Bitcoin, what it does is verify the transaction happened without having to have people involved. That part works really well. Forget about whether Bitcoin should be a currency, is a currency, what value it is. The blockchain part, you know, with a few exceptions like anything else, works really well at verifying transactions. So which is why these stock exchanges want to use it, because they're like, we pay a lot of money to have this complex, old-fashioned system for verifying transactions. If we could just have a piece of technology that does it automatically, score.
Yeah, and then let the banks get into creating their own currency so that they don't have to deal with some nation-state stuff. What? I got me some Bank of America coin. Can I trade it for your Wells Fargo coin?
Oh, no, but then we go back into the 1700s where you're like, oh, I only have Chase Bank coin. Hold on.
We don't take those here. We don't serve your kind.
Soupy777 wanted us to note that Melbourne-based VPN provider Uflix says some of its users have reported an error when trying to access non-Australian content on Netflix while using their VPN. The message read, you seem to be using an unblocker or proxy. Please turn off any of these services and try again. And within a couple of days of noticing this, Uflix says it has a fix in place.
I mean, Tom, how many times do we have to say this? IP addresses are neither people nor locations. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's good on Netflix for now being available in, what, 190 countries? But,
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, seriously, though, fighting proxies and VPN. Right? That's like whack-a-mole, though. And then I totally get that Netflix has to do the due diligence thing and, you know, show the content right holders that they're, you know, taking this seriously. But seriously, that's just you're asking for some whack-a-mole. So
well, and Netflix has been speaking out of both sides of its mouth. On one hand, saying like, we can do this, but people will. It'll be a game of whack-a-mole. They've said that, and yet they've also had to come out and say, but we're going to do it because we have legal agreements that we have to abide by. And a lot of people have talked about this. In fact, Text Message with Nate Langston had a great conversation about this on their last episode. The thing is, even if I'm traveling, like if I'm a U.S. citizen and I want to access my U.S. Netflix while I'm in Italy, the license holder doesn't want me to do that because they're only getting paid for the rights in the U.S. If Netflix is able to show me that film in Italy, but a different provider, let's say Amazon, is paying for the rights to show it in Italy, even though I'm paying Netflix, the fact that I'm watching it in Italy violates the rights. It gives Netflix the right to show the movie in Italy somehow, if I'm able to do that. And so that undermines the agreement with Amazon, who think they have the exclusive rights to show the movie in Italy. Now, if you're sitting there already saying, yeah, but what does this show me in Italy? It's the internet. You can do everything anywhere. And that goes back to the fact that IP address is not a location. Yes, that's what Netflix wants. They're like, let's get rid of these artificial distinctions that no longer mean anything on the internet. But for the time being, they have to play along with that because they haven't been able to achieve that goal yet.
Well, then it begs the question, if you went to Italy and used your VPN to get to a network share that you had in the United States to play a movie, is that different than having an on-demand service? So, like, is Netflix your big hard drive in the cloud where you can play back the movies, or is it an on-demand service?
Right. No, if I own the movie, I own the right to watch it wherever I want, but I may not have been able to purchase the movie wherever I want.
I can imagine it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, Sony Pictures in the meeting with, I'm just picking on Sony, but in the meeting with Netflix is like, yeah, so we want you to implement this system. And they're like, yeah, but that's not how it works. It's going to be whack-a-mole. And then Sony going, cool, so whack the moles.
Yeah, whack the moles so that we can charge Amazon in Italy or whatever. The first installation of Google's high-speed public Wi-Fi for India goes live in Mumbai in a Mumbai train station today. The next cities on the list for the partnership with Indian Railways and Railtel are Allahabad, Patna, and Ranchi. 100 stations are expected to be hooked up by the end of the year on the way to a total of 400. So, municipal Wi-Fi. We thought it died in the mid-2000s, but it's taken the rails by storm in India.
I love it. No, it's making a huge comeback. I'm really happy for this. At first, when I read it, one of the things that jumped out at me was the idea that at this train station, you would only get 1 hour of high-speed Wi-Fi, and after that, it would kind of slow down to kind of encourage you to not just, like, leech there all day long. And it reminded me of what they do at many airports, like SFO here. You can get 45 minutes of free Wi-Fi, and then after which, oh, that's right, you just have to change your MAC address. So I was like, another fun thing. But no, Google's really stepping it up, taking it another step forward. It seems like their captive portal requires authentication through SMS, which is like, wait, why would I need a second factor of authentication to get on a public network? But no, it seems like that's done just so that they can verify, like, oh, well, we already texted you today, take the train to the next platform or something. It's pretty cool. I can't wait to see what security researchers find of this as we see more and more public Wi-Fi being deployed, like in the likes of New York City. There are obviously inherent risks in any unlicensed spectrum technology where anybody can be both a station and a base station.
It's a good thing to pay attention to. Yeah. State Bank Japan Display announced it will begin mass production of OLED panels in 2018. Japan Display, you may think, what? That rings a bell. Why do I know that? It was formed in 2012 by combining the display units of Sony, Toshiba, and Hitachi, and it is majority owned by the Innovation Network Corporation of Japan. And that is the innovation fund that is attempting to purchase Sharp, and we told you about that on a previous Daily Tech News show. Why this all matters is there are rumors rampant that Apple will need to buy a bunch of OLED screens sometime around 2018. So Japan Display would love to have that contract and sell a lot of OLED screens to Apple.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Do you think that Sharp should join or hold out, and how do you think that would affect?
Well, Sharp's got to sell. Sharp's in bad shape, so somebody has to buy them. Japan Display is trying to keep the company Japanese. as we talked about on a previous episode. And so Hanhai, the Foxconn folks, are also trying to buy it because they already have a lot of Apple contracts. So it'd be awesome if they had Sharp and can make a bunch of OLED screens and then sell them to Apple along with everything else they do.
Oh, okay. So then the competition in that case, if Sharp went with Japan, would just be Japan v. China.
Well, yeah. But I mean, it would be a Japanese-owned company versus a Chinese-owned company. But don't forget, LG makes OLED panels as well.
Oh, yeah.
And Samsung makes OLED panels as well. So you've got some Korean companies in the mix as well.
That's good stuff.
jnamadan notes that 6 U.S. senators wrote a letter today objecting to the U.S. FCC's definition of broadband as 25 megabits per second or higher. Senators point out Netflix recommends only 5 megabits per second for HD video, and that Amazon only recommends 3.5 megabits per second for its video. Senators believe, quote, the use of this benchmark discourages broadband providers from offering speeds at or above the benchmark. 6 senators who signed the letter were Roger Wicker of Mississippi, whose top donor is Cox Communications at $34,500, and Comcast gave him $12,500. Roy Blunt of Missouri, whose number 6 donor is Comcast at $30,700. Corey Gardner of Colorado, his number 19 donor is the American Cable Association at $17,000. And then Steve Daines of Montana, Deb Fisher of Nebraska, and Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, and Corey Gardner of Colorado. I think I mentioned one of those twice. Yeah, forget Corey Gardner, but Steve Daines, Deb Fisher, and Ron Johnson do not have major ISPs in their top 20 donors, according to OpenSecrets.org.
Tom, I'm getting some breaking news here. It seems that U.S. politicians are in the pockets of mega corporations. I, for one, am astounded by this new revolution.
Well, apparently 3 of them aren't.
Apparently.
In this case, in this particular, well, I mean, the Koch brothers are big investors in the other 3, but that doesn't have anything to do directly with ISPs. So, you know, that just causes a lot of people to lose their minds when you start talking about politics. But, yeah. I think it's an interesting point. Let's be fair. I think it's an interesting point that your minimum recommendation is 5 megabits per second. The Verge pointed out, like, yeah, but if you get 25 advertised, you're probably only going to get 19 in practice, and if you have more than one person watching a video, then that 5, you know, might not actually make it. And then when you talk about Wi-Fi and lag, you need a little bit more. So I don't know. I do think personally that 25 megabits per second seems like a reasonable definition of broadband.
Yeah, no, 25 is today, but it won't be tomorrow, and that's the thing. This will
needs to keep going up. Exactly.
Sure, we could leave it at 5 megabits today, but in 2020, if we're looking back at it, that'll seem like dial-up.
We got an email from Tyler, who used to work in Chuck Hagel's office before he became Secretary of Defense, and he said it really does help if you write letters to your representatives. They do pay attention. They have assistants who make briefs of like what people are writing about, which ones wrote actual letters, which ones sent emails. So if you have a position on what you think the definition of broadband should be, you might want to write your senator about it.
It's almost as if it's like for the people and by the people.
It should be.
And you know what? In all fairness, this has been updated over time. I mean, originally, or not originally, but way back when, in the early 2000s, it was 128. That's ISDN.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? What is acceptable internet, forget broadband or whatever, is going to continue to get to need to be faster over time. It's because we're doing more with it, and that's going to happen for a while still.
Then we also keep mistaking throughput for speed. I mean, nobody's talking about the 30 millisecond lag that I'm getting.
Right. Go. What's the FCC mandated definition of latency?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. If you can get a headshot with a P90, I'd say latency is pretty good.
I would love to see the FCC define that way. That'd be awesome. Finally, LETV, the Chinese company that invested in a lot of things, including Faraday Motors, which we heard about their electric car at CES. First of all, has rebranded as LeEco for LeEco system. It also announced Thursday it will bring 2 of its devices to India. The LE1S comes February 2nd for 10,999 rupees. It's about $165 US. And the 6.33-inch Max Pro comes February 16th for 32,999 rupees. That's about $500 US. Company will also open a research and development center in Bangalore, just showing after Huawei, Xiaomi, Apple, and Google, all doubling down on trying to get into the mobile market in India, that everyone is seeing that the Chinese market is starting to stabilize, if not stagnate, and India is where all the growth is for mobile people.
Right. You've seen more about this, the Faraday Motors, the electric car thing. Do you feel like is that real, or is that just a ploy to get kind of the smartphone stuff more in the news?
No, Lay TV has a streaming service. They make televisions. They make set-top boxes. Their investment in Faraday Motors is because they want to sell technology into that car eventually. Whether that concept car becomes a viable competitor for Tesla, I think has less to do with LETV's investment in it and more to do with, whether there's a market for that sort of thing.
Yeah, it just feels like I had never heard of this company until the car thing.
Yeah, they kind of launched them into the public consciousness, that's for sure.
Cool.
Hey, thanks to everybody who submits stories in our subreddit. It is extremely helpful. If you're not one of them, become one of them. Go to dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com, and that is a look at the headlines. Amit Jingran, CTO of Apogee, wrote an opinion column on Wired today called "Forget AI, the human-friendly future of computing is already here," and he talks about intelligence amplification. Now, he's talking about it in a very practical way. I found an article by George Dvorsky, who wrote for IO9 back in May 2013, talking about it in a very futuristic way. But there are essentially two kinds of amplified intelligence, or IA, intelligence amplification, assistive and integrated. So what Dvorsky was talking about was integrated, where we put a chip in our brains to make us smarter and have more capacity to have intelligent thought. What we're hearing about from Jingran in this opinion column today is assistive, and that's IBM's Watson. IBM's Watson is not AI, it's IA, because it actually takes what you know, tries to aggregate it, and present information to you that we already know as humans. It doesn't think about it, it just presents it and says, oh, well, maybe this is relevant to you. A good example would be a doctor making a diagnosis, and Watson is used in the health field. The machine can keep up on all the medical research being created by humans and then advise when relevant new information is available, something that a single doctor would not be able to do. But the doctor still uses that to make the diagnosis. She makes the diagnosis with more information than was possible before. So Darren, this I think is really interesting because we're focused these days, it seems like, so much on what is AI, what can artificial intelligence do? Is it dangerous for AI to happen? But it sounds like intelligence amplification, just basically assisting us, could be maybe safer and more helpful.
Maybe. I think that what we do is we see the stepping stones in that direction towards the completely autonomous, pick whatever you want, driving car, and we see the lane assist and all of that stuff, those maybe perhaps IA stepping stones as but it's not there yet. So maybe really this article is about hey, no, be happy, we have cool things now. And don't just constantly look towards the future and think what we don't have. But so in that sense, I'm totally picking that up. I asked the question, okay, Google, are Alexa or Siri assistive intelligence applications? And sorry to everybody's phone out there.
Okay, good. No, intelligence amplification. I don't know if they count. They certainly are in the arena. And why wouldn't they count? Just a little quick history on IA. William Ross Ashby used the phrase and popularized it. He talked about amplifying intelligence in his 1956 book, Introduction to Cybernetics. He was taking the work of people like Alan Turing and making it accessible for people to understand. It's a great book even today. Man-computer symbiosis was something that was written by J.C.R. Licklider in 1960, talking about more of a cyborg type of thing. Augmenting human intellect, a conceptual framework, was written by Douglas Engelbart in 1962, and his augmentation lab was thought to be a crock until he gave the mother of all demos on December 9th, 1968. And if you haven't heard about this, the mother of all demos in 1968 showed a mouse, showed Windows, showed collaborative editing, teleconferencing, and hypertext. And that was all he considered examples of augmenting us with computers.
See, I hear the man-computer symbiosis, and I wonder, like, okay, so I got my wearable JCR Lick Lighter, I got my Google Glass, and my Fitbit, got my smartphone Bluetooth headset, HoloLens, bring it. Am I there? Am I doing it yet?
I mean, yes. I guess it's the mouse is augmenting our intelligence because it makes it faster to do stuff. So I think what this means is if the computer is making it easier for you to be smarter, then that's intelligence augmentation or intelligence amplification. But I think the state of computers now is such that it's not just the devices, it's what it can do with stuff that you wouldn't have known on your own. And that's changed over time. We can do Google searches now, right? Intelligence amplification in the 70s would have been the ability to look things up for you, right? Now you don't have to walk over to the World Book and look it up. You can do it quickly. So now it's being able to look up more things than you could possibly look up and pick the relevant ones.
Right, and actually we're at that point where there's more information than we can possibly know what to do with. So you almost need an AI to, well, in fact, we have AIs that filter out the stuff so that we see only the stuff that's relevant to us based on trends that it detects from our personality. I mean, you were talking about a while ago, I believe, with Beja, the concept of a Gmail or Google Mail auto response candid stuff, like the 3 candid responses, and the question is, are those just going to be the same thing as like what you get with like sending a reply on a text message, or are they going to be custom tailored based on the rich history that Gmail knows of your correspondence with this person?
Yeah, and it's those kinds of intelligent assistants that can take a lot of forms. Cars that do lane avoidance, where they're like, you're getting too close to that car in the next lane. We're just going to nudge you this way. Even though you're still in control, you're still driving, we're going to avoid that collision that you're maybe not fast enough to see, is intelligence amplification of a sort as well. So it's a lot of different things, and I guess the final question is, and you get different answers if you read Dvorsky, who's talking about like putting a chip in your brain versus talking about assistive stuff. Is this a better idea? Because AIs can go off on their own, right? They don't need us, and maybe they won't need us anymore. Whereas intelligence amplification is putting us in the center and just making us the better intelligence versus creating a separate one.
See, I think that this is actually something that Hollywood needs to figure out, because it's the perfect fodder. I feel like when you get down to that question of, and you asked this before, and here's my answer, is IA more or less scary than the popular mainstream idea of AI? And I actually like IA a little bit better, because what we're talking about is some like robot that doesn't have a soul versus an evil genius with a layer who has motivation and human emotion.
Wait a minute, though. But see, that's the problem with IA, is that you can program an AI not to be evil. And you could say, well, it could go wrong, but the thing is, you put parameters in there, and that's what the Dvorsky article argues, is, but you can set the parameters so it won't do certain things. You can't do that with a person. A person can become an evil genius and do evil things, and intelligence amplification of an evil genius doesn't seem like such a good idea.
No, it sounds fantastic. It sounds like an Isaac Asimov thing that needs to happen all over again. Let's bring it. Yeah. Yes, I mean, we have this fascination with that evil genius that's got like, all the tech and stuff like that. So this is just a really brainy evil genius. I love it. Bring it. Yeah. We should all be evil geniuses.
But your Siris and your Amazon Echoes and all that stuff, those are helping you more and more to become more intelligent. And I think it's an interesting distinction between like machine learning is the idea that the machine learns, but a machine can learn to think on its own, which is what AI's goal is, or the machine can learn to provide you with better information, which is what IA's goal is.
Well, I would also argue that I don't think the lane assist is making you more intelligent. It's actually making you more lazy and probably a worse driver. But that's just a different. That's a different whole
Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's get to our pick of the day. It comes from Bassam in dusty Riyadh, who wanted to suggest Kareem as a pick. He said, I've used it several times in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. In a nutshell, it's Uber tailored for the specific needs of the Middle East. Now, I'll let you go and read his article, it's almost an article, his entire email in the show notes if you want. But essentially, in Saudi Arabia, it's illegal for women to drive themselves. If you have enough money, you hire a driver. But if you don't, Kareem can be a solution, because unlike Uber, you can keep the car and driver as long as you like. They'll wait for you while you go shopping, have dinner, and you won't have to wait for another car when you're ready to leave. This is very convenient for women or families over here, since they don't have to stand out in the streets, which can be quite hectic, and wait for another car to show up. They can go straight to the car they had before. Rates are based on distance driven and time spent waiting, and they're quite reasonable and are not significantly more expensive than Uber, which is also becoming popular in Riyadh. The cars are about equivalent to the Uber black car service with clean SUVs and uniformed drivers. So if you're in Riyadh, you might check out Careem. It's on iOS and Android, and you can find more information at careem.com.
Yeah, I love these services and the innovation that we're seeing in this regard. I feel like Uber is like tech applied to old school methodologies like limos, and more we're seeing stuff like this. I just read an article recently about Arcade City. I don't know if you covered this, but the concept of, it's in the UK, and it's a decentralized blockchain-based Uber where there's not a central authority that takes all of the money. It all goes straight to the drivers and provides a platform for that. So, you know, this is just really cool. I love that we're seeing more and more services like this.
Yeah. Send your picks to us, folks. Feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com. You can find more picks at dailytechnewsshow.com/picks. Comey wrote to mention 2 ways the show Planet Money suggested that autonomous cars could be introduced. One involves the elevator. The elevator refers to the time when the elevator companies replaced human operators with automated systems. Does this sound familiar? Operators were driving the elevator without any safety mechanisms, and there were very bad elevator accidents. But people hated the automated system at first until they eventually realized it was safer. And now we take automated elevators for granted. In contrast, the other way that Planet Money talked about was the autopilot effort, which allows humans to override the control. And they point out that while this is used in airplanes and is very safe, there have been incidents where pilots have overridden the autopilot incorrectly, for instance, in the tragic crash of Air France Flight 447. So it's also not a perfect system either, but especially that elevator example really got to me, because even though elevators, they're not used as regularly as cars, and there are not nearly as many accidents even in the elevator operator days, it's the same principle underlying it, which is, do I want a human to do this or a machine?
Yeah, it's almost like we used to, get around from place to place using living, breathing animals pulling a cart, and then we switched to an autonomous version of that. Or actually, it's not autonomous, but what is the auto and automobile supposed to mean again?
It replaces the horse.
It replaces the poor horse.
It's an automatic horse.
No, but it doesn't know how to get back from the pub automatically.
I know. See, that's why I've never believed in these automobiles.
This is why you take your horse down to the bourbon bar.
That's right. Totally.
All right.
Uber for horses.
Oh, I'm down. Are you kidding?
We've got a unicorn.
Horse carriage, bring it.
Anas from Syria wrote in and said, hey, you asked if there were other Apple development centers out there, so I looked around. The only thing he could find was at a VentureBeat article. It said an Apple spokesperson confirmed to VentureBeat that the company has one other iOS app development center in Brazil, though there's little information about where the center is located or when it opened. But apparently that's why Apple was saying it's our first center in Europe, because they have one in Brazil. And then finally, since Wednesday, Marty Dolan says, my Google Now has started talking in an Australian accent. When I ask for the temperature, I now get the forecast for Melbourne, not Melbourne. I'm sure Brisbane no longer has to be put up with being called Brisbane. Still no news on whether the weather for Vegas or Brisneyland is coming in, though.
I always get bummed out when they change this, because I love I gotta anthropomorphize the phone as if it has this personality, and this is just a trait of it. And it used to happen with my navigation on my phone, that it would say that I have reached my Dest-O nation, and I'm like, I love this nation, the nation of Dest-O.
Yeah, it's the nation you're headed to. We're all headed to that nation.
Yes, I want to be the mayor of Dest-O nation.
Yes, that's fantastic. Thank you, Marty, for sending that along. Thank you, Darren, of course, as always, hack5.org, hak5.org. You have to wait 9 months, not for a baby, but for the episode that is a product of what Darren was talking about happened over the weekend. But you don't have to wait 9 months for the next episode of Hack 5.
No, in fact, it just released yesterday, and we're talking about all sorts of fun things that you can do with TCP. So if you would like to know about advanced netcat usage, we will tell you about advanced netcat usage, and then you will know about advanced netcat usage.
Absolutely. Check it out, hak5.org. Also with us today, Mr. Len Peralta, who is illustrating the show in fine fashion as usual. Len, that is the largest brain you've ever drawn.
Yeah, I went with some low-hanging fruit here with a large-brained man who is obviously, the name of this print is called Real Brains Win. And it's a young woman who is obviously choosing the real brains over the fake brains, and she's saying, sorry, Todd, I guess I'm just into guys who employ a superior amplified intelligence as opposed to machines that utilize an artificial intelligent mode. Just call me an old-fashioned female human, I guess. So.
Oh, I love the droid.
His name is AI. Isn't he cute? Yeah.
He's like a cross. He's like BB-8 and R2-D2's love child.
Yeah. I think it was our pre-Star Wars talk there.
Yeah, maybe it inspired you. It must have been. This is fantastic. See, Len, I knew it. You know. Plus, all the people with big brains out there are going to want to put this up on their wall.
That's right. You can't go wrong with big brains. I like big brains, and I cannot lie.
Yeah, the other hackers won't deny.
No. One bit.
There we go. Yes.
Yes, lenperaltastore.com. Go take a look and maybe pick it up for yourself. It could be on your wall shortly.
That's right. It's right on the front page. Go get it right now.
Go, do it. Hey, thanks to the folks who support the show. We could not do it without you. We thank you as much as we possibly can because if you find value in the show and you give a little value back, it means we're able to continue doing the show and improving it on it. And we had a brainstorming meeting recently where we talked about some ideas for new specials and new episodes and all kinds of stuff. So keep an eye on your Patreon emails. And if you're not supporting us yet, whether it's through Patreon, PayPal, or the store, go to dailytechnewsshow.com/support to find out how. If you get some value out of the show, all we ask is that you give a little value back. Our email address is feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. You can give us a call, 512-59-DAILY. It's 512-593-2459. Catch the show live Monday through Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern at alphageekradio.com and diamondclub.tv. Visit our website at dailytechnewsshow.com. Back on Monday with a dual team, Veronica Belmont and Patrick Beja together. Talk to you then.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Man, that's going to be a big show one day.
What's that, Jenny?
That way I said it was a great show, super intelligent humans.
You know, if this really were amplified intelligence, my Google Glass would have immediately said 36, 24, 36, only if she's 5'3".
No.
But it didn't pop up, so I had to, like, remember it the old-fashioned way.
Not amplified intelligence.
No. It should pull the thought out of my brain and then make it speak through me immediately without any sort of filter.
Oh, the camera's locked on Len. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I forgot to take it off. No, it's not your fault. That was mine. I always lock it on you for the view of the
gotcha.
The thing, and then I forgot to unlock it. Thank you, 40 Thieves.
Like some show titles?
Yes.
There's some good ones. I'm also hiding behind my logo because I'll be honest, guys, right now. It's Friday. It's been a long week. I'm lying down. I'm just lying down. And I can do that on the Daily Tech News Show.
Oh, yeah, you can. Doesn't matter. No one would have known. No one would have ever known. You could have just said your camera was broken. We would have never known.
My camera is broken because I'm lying down. Okay, so we have Netflix and Charge, which is
like Netflix and Chill.
Yeah, current vote getter. Gigabit or Get Out, which I believe is a direct Darren quote.
Gigabit or Get Out.
Yeah, I was riffing on somebody else that said 1,000 Mbps or GTFO.
Mm-hmm. There's Whack-A-Flix, which is, I mean, we're talking about a game you play at an arcade. And let's see, here's one. ICU had My Intelligence Goes to 11. If anytime you get a Spinal Tap reference, that's for me.
I liked IAYOU and sometimes AI.
Yeah.
Oh, that's clever.
Scott said Netflix VPN Whack-A-Mole, the game, parentheses, what you just lost. That was my part.
Yeah. The game which you just lost. Well, you never lose for good, though. There's always another IP.
Uber for horses. I want Uber for horses so bad. Horse, drive me home.
I like Big Brains, and I cannot lie.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
There's a lot of good ones today.
All right, well, I like IAYOU and sometimes AI. I like Big Brains. I also like the title. I like Big Brains, and I cannot lie. We'll just let you guys vote.
Oh, so good.
Vote it up.
Vote while we level 8.
Yeah, because
you got seconds to spare.
This is the kind of one where we just have to let them figure it out because there's too many good ones.
I'm just gonna level 8 and chill.
Can you Hulu and chill? Does that work?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
That's a pretty. That's just gonna go down the wrong path.
I guess it's Hulu and Hangout.
Yeah.
Somebody called for backup. Ellie is beating up her dad.
Aww.
She beats up her dad and she cannot lie.
I mean, she's just like punching Roger in the shoulder, whapping him in the face.
That's love. That's baby love.
Like, Ellie, that's our producer.
Having offspring so that it can berate you.
All right, I like Big Brains is edged out. IAYOU.
Nice.
Just don't eat them. They're really bad for you, I hear. Awful.
I like Big Brains and I cannot lie.
There she goes again.
The other brothers won't deny.
You have
when a baby walks in, punching Roger in the face.
She's so fascinated by Roger's teeth because she's just starting to get some, right?
I'm getting that. Is that what they're going to look like?
That's going to hurt.
Why are they so yellow?
I walk every day, morning and night in the middle.
I know. I'm not even looking at your teeth. I'm just saying.
Hey Tom, on Twitter when we were talking about DJ Khaled yesterday, were you referencing that video where he's talking about putting the hinges in the boy's hand? Did you know what I was talking about?
No, I did know what you were talking about, but I was referencing just his general Snapchat.
Oh, okay. See, I don't see the Snapchat stuff. I just saw that you very smart video.
I watched a lot of DJ Khaled yesterday because of you guys talking about it, and I just was like, that guy is so rich, and I've never heard of him before. He has a chef, an elevator, a jet ski, and one of his friends has an island.
Hey, we almost lost DJ Khaled at the end of last year in a water skiing thing.
Yeah, well, that was the famous one, but I was just like, everybody's so rich.
Well, I was sitting here working, and my little 3-year-old son is in the other room saying, and another one, and another one. And I'm like, hey, does your 3.5-year-old have DJ Khaled affirmations while he's playing?
You gotta follow Khaled on Snapchat.
Okay, I will.
Even if it's just for like a couple of days.
Yeah. I got the one where he his whole day was like, down the elevator, egg whites, up the elevator, more eggs. Like
they don't want us to eat eggs, so what are we gonna do? We're gonna eat more eggs.
Yeah.
Is it just DJ Khaled?
Yeah, here we go. It's Khaled, by the way, which I used to say wrong. So Justin corrected me. Here, let's hear. I can't see, but let's hear.
Motivate yourself, and you'll motivate others.
He's pressing an elevator.
They don't want you motivated. They don't want you inspired. Let's see what Chef D got.
Egg whites.
Let's see what she got for breakfast. Let's see. Chef D was good. Egg whites, turkey bacon, wheat toast, of course, water. They don't want us to enjoy breakfast, so have a healthy breakfast.
Wait, who's they?
You know, the man.
The man.
Man doesn't want you to enjoy
the doors
breakfast.
Down.
I thought eggs were okay now. You could eat the
eggs
yolk.
are okay. They're behind.
Yeah, that's why they don't want you to eat them, because they don't want good things for you.
Hey man, listen to DJ Khaled.
I just bought half a dozen eggs last night.
They don't want you to have those eggs. So you know what you should do? Have those eggs.
You know, I'm wearing a shirt that's sort of a DJ Khaled sort of thing.
Well, and he's also, like, seriously, really positive. Like, he's basically trying to motivate people to, like, you know, more success. Just get out there and do it.
Yeah. He changed a lot.
Yeah.
Nothing is given.
Earn it. Is that what you just say to your kids when they like want money for something and you just?
That's right. Oh, you better believe it.
Hoodie.
You better believe.
Hey, read this.
Hey, nothing is given. You earn it around here.
Go do
Listen to DJ Khaled.
Yeah. Bless up the dishes.
Bless up.
I'm gonna follow him. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna watch him.
Yeah, Justin and I littered yesterday's headlines with references to Khaled. If you follow him on Snapchat at all, you will notice them peppered throughout the headlines.
Nice. All right, I am going to get going.
All right, man.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Have a good Friday night dinner.
I will. I will try to figure out. I think we're back to spaghetti again tonight.
I knew
Very
it.
nice.
Spaghetti.
Classic.
Yeah, we're back to it.
Yes. 2016.
Yeah, first of the year.
Back to basics.
That's right. That's a
It's like I
college.
didn't know what was going on before when you guys were talking about some some Snapchat stuff, but now I know that the world is all right.
That's right. We gotta earn the spaghetti. Earn the spaghetti. All right, guys. Have a nice weekend.
Bye, Len.
Hi, Len.
Spaghetti.
Bye.
I have no idea what you guys were talking about.
Oh, you've got to take a look.
No, okay.
It's totally worth it, even if just for like one day's worth.
I have seriously no idea how I would even take a look at what.
Just put Snapchat on a phone.
Oh, okay. And then instantly weird stuff will happen like that?
Well, no, just and then you follow DJ Khaled, and it's DJ Khaled.
Okay.
Add him as a friend, and then just watch his story. I'm sure one of the young kids in your office can show you how to do it.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Wait, we need to treasure this moment. There is something Darren does not know.
Oh no, I don't. I do not understand your social network. I can social inject your database, but I can't I don't understand it.
And I only learned about Snapchat like a month ago, so I feel amazing.
No, trust me. I listened to all the episodes. I heard you getting on the bandwagon. Now that you're an expert for your birthday, right?
I follow 4 whole people, and one of them is DJ Khaled.
Gotta get Ellie on the Snapchat.
Well, I guess I'll have to get snapping or something.
Yeah, it's snapping.
Yeah, I got on the Slack.
You're on Twitter.
I can also identify that it's just IRC, so you know.
You also are never in the Slack.
Oh, I'm in my Slack. How do I add more than one organization to the app?
Oh, you press the plus sign.
Oh, well, like I said, I'm awesome at computers.
I just thought you didn't really like to use it, so I didn't even bother.
No, I'm slacking it up. We got
really? Okay.
Organization.
Yeah, you can have multiple organizations in the app.
Cool. Okay.
I totally understand Darren's kind of mindset though, because like a lot of social networking tools are around social things that you may not be interested in.
Well, it's like Shannon last night was trying to explain to me Twitch. And it was like, and the particular culture of Twitch, and it's like I've just figured out the culture of YouTube, okay?
And that's no small thing, by the way.
Oh, by the way, I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm just
having had to watch someone I know do the same thing over the last 3 years.
Oh yes. By the way, Tom's wife works at YouTube.
Yeah, she does.
Yes.
I don't know if you knew that.
Or so says the T-shirt.
and the mug.
And I haven't seen it in RL yet.
Hello, my name is Tom Merritt, and my wife works at YouTube.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you know what I was doing? Driving on the way to Vegas. I'm so terrible. I need to get your recommendation on that Podcatcher app again because I ended up just using, since I have Google Red, I just like downloaded all the episodes on YouTube.
That works too.
Yeah. Well, no, it doesn't because I'm downloading video for no reason. What could have been a 20 meg file ended up being
huge.
And, there ain't no service out in Mojave.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like Downcast on iOS because it allows you to reorder your playlist, but on Android I'm all Pocket Casts.
Okay, because
I
I was
would be Pocket Casts everywhere if it weren't for if they would allow me to reorder playlists. But Pocket Cast is fantastic on Android.
Thanks. I will grab Pocket Cast then.
Hey, I was thinking I was gonna take that name my wife. Was it my wife works at YouTube or my wife works for YouTube? And that would be the name of my karaoke cover band. It'd be awesome. Fine.
Karaoke, because your wife would be so busy working at YouTube. You'd have lots of time for karaoke.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. So with Snapchat, you post videos? I thought it was for photos.
Videos or photos.
Photos
Either
or
one.
videos?
Is there a length limit on the videos?
8 seconds.
Oh. Okay, never mind. Because I was like, I just started vlogging again. I've been putting like little 1-2 minute videos up on my YouTube channel, my personal one. But no, I guess that's not 8 seconds. How am I supposed to convey anything thoughtful in 8 seconds? That's like 140 characters.
Well, wait, ready? Bless up.
What?
Bless up.
That's 2 words.
Darren wants to know how to convey something in 8 seconds on Snapchat, so I'm doing this Snapchat to say, hey, watch Daily Tech News Show at dailytechnewsshow.com, and then you can hear Darren talk about it. Boom.
Oh, wow. You just snapped that up.
Yeah, I did.
That chat.
I snapped that chat. I'm adding it to my story.
Wow.
Oh, 10 seconds. Sorry. W. Scott corrects me. It's not 8 seconds. It's 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Man. If only I could have the attention span of a teenager.
You can by watching Snapchat.
I feel like I'm
feel
like,
young again.
Well, actually, what I noticed on Snapchat, because I was like I was somewhere yesterday and I was like super bored and I can't remember where it was. I had to wait. Oh, I was at the eye doctor, and I was looking at the professionally made Snapchat my stories, right? Like the ones from BuzzFeed and Tastemade and all these places, and I was like, those are really great graphical explainers, and I was super curious as to how you would build them. Like, is it just a Photoshop?
Motion graphics?
Yeah.
No, they're partners.
So you have to have.
They're partners with Snapchat.
Oh, wait. You're saying I can't do video editing and then upload a 10-second video that I've. Oh, you have to do it live?
Yeah. That's the whole point of that. The majority of Snapchat, the whole point is I'm capturing my life live.
Got it.
Oh,
Whereas it used to be I'm sending you an ephemeral message, which you can also still use it for. So it's grown out of like, I'm going to send you a message, I'm going to do a crazy thing, and then it goes away as soon as you've seen it. So I'm not worried about doing it right because I'm not going to leave a record. And your story goes away after 24 hours. So again, it's like, why spend all that time making something? It's just a real quick like, hey guys, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
I like how Darren is becoming less and less convinced as we go forward.
I'm becoming less and less interested, to be honest.
To me, all this stuff is about like, are there people there who you want to talk to?
Hang on, universe.
Okay.
Darren muted.
Well, you know what? We're gonna end the video broadcast anyway. So thanks everybody for watching.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. No lip reading.